ring, the Be Somebody is on the back, so that was for Ben and Friday.
Oh, I can't say that. I got college coaches, and they all come recruiting.
Just some more All-American things here. We've had lots of All-Americans while we've been here, at Marietta.
I don't know. You see, you had to stump me on that one, didn't you? Hey, my name is Rich Morgan. I'm the head football coach at Marietta High School. Originally, I was born in Auburn, New York, a long time ago, and I've been the head football coach here at Marietta for the past 8 seasons. I went to Auburn High School, played football and baseball 4 years each, and then I moved on to Canisius College where I played football for 4 years. When I graduated from Canisius, I moved down here to Georgia, started substitute teaching. My first job was actually at Paul D. West Middle School in Fulton County in 1993. And then from there, I started coaching at Tri-Cities High School, and then I've been now at it for, this is year 32 of teaching and coaching. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Marie. We've been married, we just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We have 4 children. Brianna is 22. She just graduated from the University of Georgia and already signed a contract to work in cybersecurity at a organization here in Atlanta. My daughter Alexis is 21. She's graduating from Georgia this coming season. She'll be going to PA school. My son Luke is 19. He played for me here, and he'll be a freshman at Georgia this year. He was an all-region receiver for us. And my son Sean is 17 years old. He'll be a senior this year at Marietta. All 4 of them are in the IB program at Georgia. My daughters were on the Zell Miller Scholarship at Georgia. My son is also, and then Sean's a 4.5 student here in the IB program also. So we have a great family, very proud of our kids. My wife and I have worked very hard to raise them the right way, and they've grown into tremendous young adults. I always knew I wanted to work with kids when I was coming up. I knew that I wanted to stay close to football. So when I graduated from school, I felt like teaching and coaching was going to be the avenue that I would pursue. So that was why I initially moved down to Georgia back in the early 90s. Jobs were much easier to come by down here. And so we moved down here because it was such a growing area. And that's kind of where I started, but as I got into it, you just love it more and more, and then it just became something that's your passion. It's what you want to do. It's almost like what I was meant to do, and so it's been a great career. It's not over yet, but it's been a great career to this point, and I'm proud of what my coaching staff and myself and my players have accomplished over the years. We've had a lot of great successes, and I'm very proud of the football families we've developed at the different places we've been, and we're looking forward to another good season here at Marietta also. Let's see, I started my coaching career at Tri-Cities High School. I was there for 4 seasons. I moved on to St. Pius High School here in Atlanta for 1. I then moved back to New York. I was a head coach at Thousand Islands High School for a couple of years. I moved back down to Virginia in 2002, and I was a head coach at Oscar Smith High School for 14 years. And then after that last season in 2015, I interviewed and accepted the job here at Marietta, and I've been the coach here at Marietta since 2016. So I've been a head coach for 25 years. I've been in football coaching as an assistant for a total of 32 years. Well, when I initially moved here to Georgia, I actually bought a house. My wife and I bought a house in Marietta. We lived maybe 4 or 5 miles from here, but I was coaching in Fulton County at the time. But it was such a great area. And then when I decided that it was, I wanted to make a move back to Georgia with my family before they started high school, I decided that Marietta area was an area that I really wanted to possibly live in again and work in. And so it just so happened there were some other jobs that were open that I was offered, but the Marietta job came open, and that was the one that I really wanted and intrigued me. And so that's why I ended up here. But I'm very happy. We have a beautiful home here. It's the greatest community in Georgia to live in. I've always said that, and we're very happy with the decision that we made to come here. First coach that greeted me when I came here was probably Coach Hall. He was the athletic director at the time, and then once I accepted the job, I started meeting and interviewing all the former assistant or the assistant coaches under the former staff, and so Derek Tinsley, LeBron Mitchell. Those are some of the guys that I met initially, but initially Coach Hall was the one that I had contact with when I first got here. And then I started to meet other people along the way. And eventually I started meeting graduates of Marietta and people that have been here and coached before. And, everybody was so welcoming and inviting when I got here. But it was a whirlwind at first. I mean, I had people come into my office every day that were former players, former coaches, because it is such a family here, and it's a small, tight knit community family, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come here. It's a great place, and it's different than other places. We hit it off really well. We had a one day, some of his former players came to me with an idea of having a camp out here for some of the kids in the community. It's just a free camp, and Coach Friday came out, and the two of us talked, and we hit it off. And we believe a lot of the same things. We have a lot of the same values, and we always believed in that family atmosphere. So initially, the two of us hit it off. Unfortunately, he passed away much, much too soon. I think he only got to see us play a few times. Before he passed away, but a great man. And it's funny, we're years apart in age, but we had a lot of the same values, and a lot of the things that he thought was important are things that I always thought was important too. We're both old school football coaches, and believe in family, and believe in treating kids the right way, but getting a lot out of kids, demanding them to give their best so that they become better people. So it was a easy match when the two of us met. Friday nights at Northcutt's a special place. Everybody knows that. Anybody that's played there or visiting teams that come there, they all comment on what a special atmosphere and a special environment it is. It's a community gathering. It's even got ramped up a little bit. Our superintendent brought in the pregame atmosphere of almost like a college tailgate with the different things going on outside before the game. So it's really become just a community gathering, a community event, and once the ball's kicked off, the stadium's packed, and there's not a better place to play football on a Friday night. In my opinion, it's a great atmosphere and environment, and it's something that our kids enjoy and cherish, and it's memories you'll have for a lifetime, because it's not like high school football in a lot of other places. It's important, it means a lot, and the support is there, and it's just something that our kids are very fortunate to have that. In their football career, to have that environment. Before the 2019 season, I felt like we had a team that could compete to win the championship. Your job as a coach is to take the team you have and put them in the best possible situation to have success on Friday night, and then to have success throughout their lives. And I felt like we had the group that could do it, but a lot of things have to come together, and things have to go your way, and you got to avoid injuries, and the ball's got to bounce your way sometimes. And but I felt like we had the opportunity to win the state championship. But obviously, it's a long process. It's a 15-week season, and Georgia football in 7A is the toughest there is in the country. So you're also going to have to play other teams that feel like they can win the state championship also. We beat a lot of good teams that had just as much talent as we did along the way. But I felt like we had the opportunity. But once we hit the playoffs, we started playing at a different level. And once we started playing at a different level, then I knew, yeah, we're going to win this thing. It was just a question of how and when and what we were going to have to do it. But I felt like we were going to win it after we started hitting the playoffs, because we were just playing at a level that I didn't think anybody could beat us. Well, obviously, I think the most memorable game has to be the state championship, because that's the culmination of everything. But I think the Parkview game, the state semifinals, the game before, was the most important game, because that's the game that gets you to the championship. And a lot of times that's the hardest one to win. And we were down by 10 points early at their place. The place was packed, and it could have gone either way at that point in time. But our kids found the resolve and they dug deep, and they made plays that they had to make, and people stepped up and played their best football of the season in that game. I think we played better against Parkview than we did in the state championship game, but Parkview was also the most important game. The state championship game it's 48 minutes from everything we wanted to accomplish, and the kids just took the field with the confidence that they just knew that they had the opportunity, and they were going to seize it. So I'd say the Lowndes game for the state championship was the biggest, but I think that Parkview game was very, very important, and at times it was almost as important as that state championship game.
Coach, how many championships do you have now in high school football?
Over the course of my career, between my staff, myself, and our players, we've won 3 state championships. We've been the state runner-up twice, and those are hard. Those are hard things to take too. We've lost a state championship in triple overtime, and those things are tough. But we've won 3, and we've won 16 region championships, or league championships, as we call them in Virginia, over the years. So we've had our fair share of success. We've had over 200 kids go to college and sign scholarships. We have 5 or 6 of our former players are in the NFL right now. So we've been very fortunate, very blessed as a staff, to have the opportunity to coach great kids from great families. But the championships are something you always strive for. But I'm also really proud of the young men that our players have become. Many of them have become coaches themselves. Many of them are NFL. Many of them are businessmen now. They're great. Some of them are married, great fathers. So I'm proud of what we've accomplished both on and off the field with the kids that have come through our programs. Well, I don't really consider there to be pressure from the outside. There's nobody is going to put more pressure on me than I do myself. I'm going to be my hardest critic. I'm going to be the person I got to look at in the mirror and answer to. So I don't really worry about pressure from other people. As far as when you're dealing with athletes, look, we all want the same thing. We want to be successful. We want to raise great men and produce great players, and players want to be successful and go to college and all those goals and dreams. So when you sit down with people and your goals and your dreams align, I think it's an easy thing. And the same goes with parents. Like, a parent's job is to raise their kid to be the best young man they can possibly be. Well, that's what we want too. So we're in alignment with parents with what their goals are. We're in alignment with our players of what their goals are. So I think we're all pulling in the same direction now. Is everything going to go perfect all the time? No. Is there going to be some disagreements along the way? Yes, but that's life. And that's part of growing up. And so I think that the approach we've taken with our players, because we consider it a family and our parents are part of our family, I think when you do that and you've got everybody involved pulling in the same direction, I don't think there's pressure. There's just expectations, and my expectations are higher than anybody's out there anyway. So I don't think there's really much pressure at all. Oh, Harrison Bailey was an outstanding quarterback, great arm strength. He had great ball placement. He threw a really catchable ball. He was a great young man. He was a really awesome leader for us. The kids rallied around him. Like, when he said, "Let's go to work," the kids got in line behind him and went to work. So Harrison did a lot for this program, not just on the field with his arm talent and things like that, but just the type of person he was and the leadership he gave. The work he put in the weight room, the work he did in the classroom, just an all-around great role model for other people. And I think that was his biggest gift to this program, was that. In addition, yeah, he had 12,000 yards and 120 touchdowns and all of that. But when you go to measure the impact that somebody made, it goes beyond just the physical attributes on the field. And so he made an impact throughout the program with that. So I love him. He's a great kid and a great young man. He's 22 years old now, but he's a great young man, and he did a lot for our program. Well, when Aziz got drafted by the Giants in the second round, after he finished that season where he set the rookie record for the Giants with sacks, had a great season. He came home that spring to see me, and he said he wanted to do a football camp and give back to the community he came from. So I helped him organize it, and I kind of just took over the planning of it, and so worked with the people from the Giants, and they got involved and gave prizes and stuff. So it kind of just took off from there. But the fact that Aziz, in the NFL, making millions of dollars, but he wants to come back to his hometown and give back to kids, because he remembers what it was like when he was a kid, and he had role models that he looked up to that helped push him to get to where he wanted to be. So the fact that he wanted to give back to his community, I felt like I owed him everything I possibly could to make that happen because of the effort he gave to this program. And then his brother BJ, who's another the two of them are just incredible human beings. When BJ got drafted, then of course it became the BJ or the Aziz and BJ Ojulari camp. So BJ just finished his first season with the Cardinals after a great career at LSU. So they both were great players here, but they were Marietta kids and they wanted to give back to Marietta. So, of course, I jumped on board and helped. So, my entire staff and 50 of our players go out there, teach the kids, coach the kids, and BJ and Aziz get to go around and talk to kids and give them that role model. And just it came together, and they bring some of their their current teammates from the Giants and the Cardinals to the camp. So, it's a great event. 3 hours on a Saturday morning, but it means a lot to those kids. They'll have memories of a lifetime from those experiences. LeBron Mitchell's been a great asset for us. He played quarterback here. He played for Coach Friday. When he was a sophomore, he took the team to the state semifinals. So somebody that's grew up in Marietta, has played at Marietta, knows what it's like to be under the lights at Northcutt in front of all those fans. That's an invaluable asset to have on staff, and so he's a great role model for the kids, and he's a great advice giver to kids because he's gone through what they're going through now. So it's been great having him. I think it's been great for our staff to have half the guys came with me from another place, and half the guys on our staff have been in Marietta for a long time. So I think it's a great mix because you get a perspective of the guys that have been at Marietta, you get a perspective from people that have been somewhere else, and I think the two perspectives have meshed really well. So we've got a lot of great ideas, what works, what doesn't, and it's great to have that tradition mixed in with people from other places. And so between him and Derek Tinsley and Adrian Wright and all the guys that have played here that are on staff, I think it's been a great asset. But LeBron's been great for us, as well as Derek. And, I'm blessed to have those guys as part of my staff. Right now, today, we have 4 or 5. We have 6 players currently right now that are in the NFL on rosters, with some more to come hopefully in the next year or so. But they're spread out amongst different teams, and they play each other sometimes. So that's always a treat when I can watch them play each other. But yeah, I mean, the NFL is tough to make, and very few, like less than 1% of anybody that plays high school football is ever going to the NFL. And to know that we've got 6 that we've had in our programs over the past, few years, it's great to know that. But it's important because they've achieved their goals and their dreams. But we've coached a lot of great players that, for whatever reason, didn't make it to the NFL, but had great college careers, and they have college degrees now, and they're moving on with their lives. And football has changed their life for the better too. So. The NFL it's a great goal to have, but it's difficult to achieve. So I'm very proud of those that have made it that far, but I'm just as proud of the ones that, took football as a tool, an opportunity to go to college for free, made the most of it, and now they're going into different avenues of their life, and they're being successful there also. NFL, the people aren't going to like me, but I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Tom Brady fan. Now, we've fallen on hard times the last couple of years, but the run that the Patriots went on with all those Super Bowls and the way they played football changed the game a little bit. And I always took a liking to the way Coach Belichick coached and the way those players performed for that long 15, 16-year span. I just think that's something that the NFL may not see again. Now, they're seeing it with the Chiefs right now, and I do enjoy watching the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that Andy Reid's a genius, and I think Patrick Mahomes and those guys they're incredible to watch. But I think what the Patriots did, that longevity that they had, is just I thought it was remarkable. Well, I mean, Tom Brady, has got 7 Super Bowls, and Tom Brady is just a guy. The longevity and the amount of time he spent in the league, and he was still productive even later in life, winning a Super Bowl. I just think that the things he accomplished. I don't know. I don't want to get into a conversation of who's better, but since my team was the Patriots, Tom Brady's a guy I looked at as like, yeah, that's a GOAT. Well, right now, NIL is something that entered the college football world a few years ago, where players had the opportunity to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. And I think it's a good thing. I think players that give all that time have an opportunity to make a little bit of money while they're in college. I think it's a great thing. And then last year, it came to high school, and the state of Georgia accepted it and allowed it. So we have not yet really gotten into any one of our players having an NIL deal or anything like that. But basically, what it is that as a football player that's well known, if that football player has an opportunity to be employed by somebody or do an advertisement or earn money based on the fact of who he is and people know who he is, then that's something that is now considered to be legal, as long as they're not wearing their attire from their school, their uniform, their jersey, and they can't say who they play for, but they can be employed or they can earn money based on their name or a picture of them and things like that. But there's some restrictions on it, so it's not something that everyone can do, but it is something that exists now in high school football. But we haven't had a lot of dealings with it yet at this point in time. I'm sure it'll happen in the future, but right now we personally haven't had a lot of dealings with it. It is going on. It's just a question of who they pick or when they pick to be a person that they want to employ. But it's something. It's a way for kids to make a little bit of money here and there. But in college, I think it's at a different level in college than it is high school. It's still in its infancy, still in the beginning stages in high school. I think it's this. I think it's the tight knit community. Being in a, it's the opportunity to coach in a town that has one high school and everyone's pulling for the same team, pulling in the same direction, and all the kids that live in this city go to that one high school. So that makes it unique. I think the tradition. I mean, Marietta's been around since 1892. We are Team 109. This is the 109th version of Marietta Blue Devils football. I don't think you get that at a lot of places also. So I think it's the longevity, it's the tradition, it's the one high school, everyone pulling in the same direction for one team, for one group of kids. I think that's a special, unique thing that you don't get very many places. Well, we just had a long conversation with our team. We love this team. This team is young. It's a very small senior class. It is 17 new starters coming, starting for the first time this year. So there's excitement. There's young guys getting an opportunity to play and start for the first time. So there's a lot of excitement about what they're going to do or the new experiences they're going to have. But we really love the work ethic. We love the character. They're great students. They like each other. They play well together. They pull for one another. I think we're developing guys to be great teammates for each other. So that when you have all those things, it's usually usually you're on the right path to having a successful season. And it's football. A lot of things have to go, your way and things like that. But where we are today, I like the path we're on. I like the people that we have in our program, the way that they treat each other, the way that they work, the way that they love football. I think those are all things that will be good for us, and I think it sets us up, for the opportunity to have a successful season and see how far we can take it. Years ago, probably, I think it was right back. It was like 2010, 2011. I had some, college football offers, but at the time I had 4 very young, small children, and didn't want to. The life on the road, a lot of times you're away in college, and I just didn't know if that was the right time. And then I had another college opportunity the same time I took this job, and I actually chose this job at Marietta. So opportunities for college have been there. And college football is great. I love everything about college football. It's an awesome experience, but the timing wasn't right. For me, the high school, where I was before and where I am now, were the better fit. It's just the timing was that. And who knows what the future brings, but that was in the past. I've always stayed in high school just because of different reasons. And I've always been happy here. I don't know. You see, you had to stump me on that one, didn't you? I think I chose to live here in Marietta. You can live wherever you want, but I made the choice to live here in Marietta and raise my family in the Marietta community. All 4 of my children will be Marietta graduates. So I think that's important. I think it's important that people understand that your head football coach is in a place that he wants to be, in a community that he wants to be a part of. And I think that's important. And my family is just as much a part of this football program and this community as I am. And so I think I think I live that family motto that I preach here. I live it outside with my own family being here and the dealings that we have. Like I tell everybody, we go to church in Marietta, we shop in Marietta, we go to dinner in Marietta. We're Marietta. It's just the way it is. So I think I think most people already know that, but I think it's also an important thing when you're invested in a community and when you got your footprint in a community. I think that's important, that you're not just leaving the community and coming back just to work. This is who we are.
So obviously my family when I first got here, and then my family the year we won the state championship. So there's different. These are some of the kids that I've just taught over the years, and all the other stuff. Josh Sweat was an All-American for me at Oscar Smith. He now plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was an All-ACC defensive end at Florida State. But he had 12 sacks last year for the Eagles. Tim Smith was an All-American receiver, played for me in Virginia, played at Virginia. One of my teams was finished number 6 in the country. So we've had a lot of great players. We've had lots of All-Americans, and we had some parade All-Americans here, and different kids. Aziz Ojolari, obviously, NFL. Perry Jones is now coaching in college, but he was an All-American for me at Oscar Smith. And then, this was our perfect season that we had. We went 15-0 in Virginia and won the state championship at the highest level. And obviously, that's our picture from the Marietta Daily Journal after we won the state championship here. Just some more All-American things here. We've had lots of All-Americans while we've been here, at Marietta. So I don't. We've had dozens and dozens and dozens of All-Americans over the years. We've probably had 75, 80 All-State players. I've been fortunate enough to be State Coach of the Year 3 times. And so our signing day that we had was a very large signing day. We signed 10 kids on that signing day. We signed 10 players, different places: LSU, Colorado, Stanford, Troy, Boston College, Tennessee, LSU, Michigan State, Florida. That was a great signing day after we won the state championship. The week after we got back from Las Vegas. So had a lot of great kids over the years, and lots of All-Americans, lots of All-State players, and really proud of their accomplishments.